How many people are here?
I tell you, man, Comic Con gets bigger every year.
Here in Niagara Falls, I can't believe it. Look at, we're all the way over there, and there's so many people here.
Yeah, it's really great, man. Remember last year?
It feels like just yesterday.
Guys, we got 30 seconds till we're live.
30 seconds. 30 seconds?
Yeah,
No one...
go.
Roll the tape!
Start the intro! Start the intro!
Pressing it more doesn't help.
Oh, doesn't?
No.
I thought it just goes faster, like it brings it up.
Really cool show this year.
Yeah?
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 Yeah.
Did we go over any notes or anything? Did you? No, neither did I. Didn't even notice.
Oh, hey.
Oh, sorry.
Man, this thing,
Yeah.
not fast.
Did you hit the thing to go down?
No.
Oh, how wife and kids?
Non-existent.
Oh, okay. Great. Good. We don't have time for this time!
Oh, man.
That was like the longest 30 seconds I've ever had.
Felt like it was 4 times longer for some reason.
God.
We are live with somebody that can only be described as a horror legend, the one and only Robert Englund, Freddy Kruger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time out to come talk to us.
That's Mr. Kruger to you, punk.
So, you know, we've been talking about, there's a lot of horror people here. How do you feel about sort of the modern look at horror that we're starting to see come up?
Well, you know, I got a sore foot here, and I've been binging a lot and going out to movies. There's nothing else to do. I have to tell you, I just saw Get Out.
Okay.
Which is terrific.
Yep.
I highly recommend it.
Fantastic movie.
You know, and Split, the James McAvoy Split personality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Terrific. So horror keeps reinventing itself, you know. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Now, you also mentioned before the show, you also saw Alien Covenant. We were just talking about that in the prior segment. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, I had this, after I liked it when I saw it, but after I saw it, I had the revelation. The second model of the Michael Fassbender robot, when you come across the, you know, there's 2 different models. It's like a Ford robot from 1969 and a Ford robot from 99. And when you see him on the planet, the second model, or the earlier model who's been there, he's Siegfried. He's Wagner from the opera. You know, the long blonde hair and the cape.
The Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, and of course, what's Wagner? Wagner's the favorite musician of the Nazis. So the robots are the master race. You see, they've had it with humans. Humans are flawed. They want to go beyond it. They like their own perfection better. So that's the whole production design has a bit of that fascist Nazi architecture to it. You know?
There is that evolution in the movie about the aliens, the Weyland Corp, how they're controlling over humans, and I guess that's something you wouldn't really take off at first. Talking about evolution itself, you're obviously iconic character Freddy Krueger. Do you feel that he has evolved over the movies, turned into something more devastating?
Well, one of the problems we had, you know, the fans always loved his personality, and they always loved his sense of humor, even in the first one. But a lot of times I would end a scene 2 ways. I would end it very dark. I'd kill somebody and it would be very dark. Maybe I'd give them the kiss of death, or they'd fall down my body and I'd stand over them. Or I would do it and there'd be a one-liner, a joke. And a lot of times our editors relied on the one-liners as a kind of rim shot, a kind of button to the scene. And if I could go back and do it all over again, I think I would put in a little more of the darkness throughout, season it in a little more.
Now, we're talking about Alien, and we're talking about Freddy. We're joined now by Creed Bratton. Creed, you were by far, I think, most people's sort of favorite character from The Office.
Oh, stop. It's true, of course, but stop, please.
I mean, the stuff that your character on that show did was, it was bizarre, it was weird, it was strange, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, well, that's very kind. I have to say that when you have writers the way that we do, you could be, they could get, it's like giving a big beach ball and have a Nerf cap. Anybody could hit those lines.
It was some of these lines that the way you delivered them, they were kind of low key, and it made you think like, wait a second, what did he just say? And it could make the scene a little darker.
I think a lot of people thought that maybe I was the guy.
There's a lot of things like,
that was the popular theory,
did your character actually work at the office kind of thing, or was he just there maybe taking someone's identity kind of thing? It was one of those like, who was Creed? He was always a veil of mystery.
He was an enigma.
Yeah.
To myself too. Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm just very excited for it. One of the movies, I loved growing up was always The Muppets. And now we got the chance to talk to Dave Barclay.
This was honestly one of my favorite interviews of this whole thing.
Just an excellent interview.
If you're familiar with Yoda, Jabba the Hutt, and many other Puppeteer things, Dave Barclay, let's go to him.
And we're now joined by Dave Barclay from so many things. You worked with Jim Henson on The Dark Crystal, and listing off your credits I think would take forever, but it's really good to have you on the show.
Thank you. Some may know you were the puppeteer on Yoda and Jabba the Hutt.
Yes, that's right.
Just to start a few.
Yes, just to start. That was my first movie job.
Oh, really?
Was working on Yoda.
Really?
I was this is exactly 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I was 19 years old.
What was I doing at 19? Probably. I couldn't tell you. That's amazing.
Well, see, I'm lucky. I'm a second generation puppeteer. So I grew up from about the age of 6, working with my parents. Okay. Working in their show, making puppets, and puppeteering all sorts of puppets, from hand puppets, string puppets, rod puppets, shadow puppets. So I had a lot of experience by the time I was 19. I'd done some TV work. I'd filmed some commercials. So I had a lucky break and got onto Star Wars, which was my dream. And it just happened to just snowball. And then, so 40 years. About 30 movies and probably about 30 TV series.
That's amazing.
Pretty crazy,
that's
it's been a blast. It's been a blast for the last 40 years.
It must be quite the process to do your line of work and what it takes to do it. When you're operating in your job as a puppeteer, would you say that what's the difference between the puppeteer and the actor? Because when you're working as a puppeteer, you're putting your physical work into it. You're putting your soul in moving this. Yeah. For kids growing up watching Star Wars and all the other productions you've done, we're believing in that. It's a creature that's alive. So what is that for you? Like, what is the difference between being an actor, puppeteer, or is it kind of molded the same? Is it kind of this?
It's applied acting. I mean, obviously, an actor, they use their body and they get to know how to use their facial expressions and how to live this other character that's not them. But with puppetry, it's a completely different creature often. And I was working on a film that was a great film to work on. It wasn't a great film, Flintstones 2, Viva Rock Vegas.
Okay.
And I'm doing Puppy Dino. And I'm working with my good friend Misha Sisti, and Misha was Michelangelo in the Turtles movies. Yeah. Cool. So Misha and I are working together on this, and we're really trying to get all the beats down, really make it look real. And Stephen Baldwin, who was in the film, said, "Guys, you're taking it way too seriously, come on, lighten up." And I said, "Stephen, if we don't believe in the character, then the audience won't." That's part of it, is that you really have to get under the skin of the character, as an actor would, but you need to use all the technical abilities and learn how the mechanisms move to be able to get that kind of emotion through. So it's applied acting, but in some ways it's a lot harder, because you don't have the face of a human being. You have to find ways of getting the right emotion with a limited palette of expressions that you have in an animatronic.
And as a professional, I'm sure that goes to many different levels, especially of the experience you've gained, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love it. I mean, that's the nice thing, is that with all the different movies I've worked on, what usually ends up happening is you have a team of puppeteers who work very well together. and so there's like a shorthand. It's like a sports team, I guess. So everybody knows each other, so you can second guess, and then you can 6 people can just start ad-libbing with a character, and the characters kind of drives you where it's going, and that's a lovely feeling.
Yeah, certainly read that about like the Henson Company, is that you guys became sort of a family.
Yes, absolutely, yeah, and just teams of puppeteers who would work well together would always be put together. Like Jim Henson always used to put myself and Mike Quinn together. We grew up in the same area, although we didn't know each other when we were growing up.
Small world, right?
Yeah, we met at Henson's, strangely enough. But and then we've worked together for many years, and we got on very well. We had similar sort of sense of humour, and so Jim would always team us up on things, and Frank Oz would team us up on things. So. And then we set our own company up. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Some of your movies, obviously, very dear to my heart, and it's just great to finally meet you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. So I've had a question. So obviously we recognize you from your iconic roles. One of them was I recognized Shermanator in The Mist, right? And that was a Stephen King film. And I've always wondered the scene where you meet your demise.
Okay. Spoilers. I think it's
saving
this one. I think it's saving this one. It's been like what?
A couple of years.
A couple of years.
Well, I won't say how, but I maybe will. But how was that scene shot? Because it's a mixture of CG, mixture of pure acting, and
it was okay. Well, I mean, first and foremost, like making that movie. When people ask me what my favorite film is, the easy answer, because I'm a big film guy, but the easy answer was always Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
So I even remember when I got the audition for it, I was like, "There's no way I'm going to book this," because you never get to book the roles that you really want. You put way too much pressure on it. It's like they can smell it in the room that you want the roles, so they're like, no. But I actually had to completely, because there's no other real scenes that my character has, so I had to just act out the entire scene in the casting room in front of them and pretend to die in this horrible way.
But obviously you did such a great job.
Apparently it worked out. But that being said, that was one of the hardest experiences that I have had. It took us I think we shot that over 4 or 5 days of working all of that out, the different rigs that they would use. I remember a couple days in, I was because Thomas Jane has got his arms under my armpits and he's holding on to me, and they actually had this whole rig with a bungee cord that went up my leg to this brace that I was wearing, so that they could physically lift me up off of the ground and kind of play that tug of war game.
You would never see any of that in this. You would never suspect any of that to be going on.
Right. But because of shooting that, I was so bruised and chafed that it was hard to even put on deodorant.
Was that from the mechanism or Thomas Jane?
just trying to save my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also as an overshare, I am a hairy man.
We have many things in common, apparently.
I was going to say, I fit in here. I don't know how much experience you have with that type of blood that they use, but as it dries, it gets sticky and hard, and it just grabs onto every single hair on you.
An unfortunate waxing agent?
Yes.
Oh, my.
Yes, I definitely, there was blood, sweat, tears, and hair. Literally giving up for that scene. But still.
We're now joined by Flannery, one of my favorite characters from The Office, the character of Meredith.
Yes. My favorite character too.
You were always just such a force of like bizarre destruction in the background.
And maybe with stuff that your character didn't deserve, I would think. You just had a lot of bad luck in a sense, I felt.
Thank you for having some compassion.
Yeah, but if it would happen to anybody in the office, it was your character, unfortunately. Something gets caught, or Meredith takes a pretty big spill.
That in the hair, I know.
Now the character of Meredith was always one of my favorite because I felt like all of her jokes were just like machine gun fast. It was like a comment or something she was doing in the background.
Well, I feel like the writers were doing an amazing chess game with my character, and if you're really paying attention, then you can see the moves. So, and I also think that Meredith never outwore a welcome. Unlike me at the Comic Con, I think I'm going to be here all weekend. I won't be just in the background. I'm going to be here a lot.
Hey, we're over there at the booth. We're right down the lane. Awesome. So if you want to crash our booth, 100% you're welcome.
How are you finding Comic Con so far, and just Niagara in general?
It's great. Yeah, actually, it's funny. My brother went to Niagara University on the other side, And my nephew did too, and I had two roommates in New York who went to Niagara. I have like a big Niagara connection. And when I first worked at Second City, we played Niagara. We played Buffalo. Sorry, I know it's so close, but
they are. Yeah.
We get them mixed up too. We're from here.
I know we were back and forth over the, handing my passport. I don't know, just stamp the piece of something great.
We're getting a whole bunch of like crossplay here from the
it seems like you guys are having fun. You guys are.
I would hit your face. I didn't think
There it is. We guess the whole thing over again. I guess I know. Yeah.
It's great to have you on the show here. What else have you got going on right now?
Well, I'm just guest starring right now. I'm a little homeless. I've been on my Cartoon Network show, OKKO. I play KO's mom. Season 3 just started, so that's kind of exciting. And
is that something new for you to do, just voice, or have you done that?
Well, I mean, it's our 3rd season, so I've been doing it for a while, pretty much since The Office ended. We did the pilot like right after The Office ended. It takes a while for animation, and I also recur on Steven Universe as I play
That's
Lauren.
awesome.
Okay.
So I mean, it's.
You keep busy.
Yeah, and I also tour with Jane Lynch. We do a 2-person show. We've done a Christmas album that did really, really well.
Right.
We played Toronto a couple times, I think. But yeah, we have to come to Ontario. We have to really hit Canada, for God's sake.
Well, is there anything in Canada that you would specifically like to see?
Well, my parents actually had their honeymoon first at the Plaza Hotel in New York, and then they came up to Niagara Falls, and then they went to Montreal. So I want to check out where they went.
Okay.
There's this beautiful, I can't remember the name of the hotel. It's beautiful, looks like a castle. It's insane.
If it's around here, I would believe you it is. Yeah. No, it's a lot of heritage stuff around here for sure. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you for coming out to our show. Thank
you so much, Kate.
And if you want to buy me a beer, I won't get mad.
Twist my arm, maybe.
You guys really know what you're doing.
Yeah, we try.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, by a friend of the show, Dan from Max Aggression, who's agreed to come back on, showing off some of his new models. Dan, thanks so much for coming back. What have you brought with you today?
All right, so I got my old friend Great Unclean One here.
Yeah.
I did him up a little while ago, but then recently they released some new stuff.
Look at the detail in that.
This is Arcalian Leviathan from army called Ideneth Deepkin.
Okay.
So they're like elves that basically live underwater, and they came up, enslaved all the underwater creatures, and cast a spell on the land.
But that makes sense. Look at the detail on the ocean floor there. That's next level.
Yeah, there's like a little mini turtle here, and then there's like crustaceans, little fish. You got the coral, like a weird looking.
So at your booth, you're here today at Niagara Falls Comic Con, representing your store Max Aggression, and these aren't just the 2 you have on display, correct?
Oh no, I got lots more. I got painted models, like I got Imperial Knight there. I got some Primaris Marines, a lot of different stuff.
I just picked up Primaris Marines. They look pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are selling books and stuff too. I saw you had
we got D&D stuff. We got a lot of dice going right now. We got big D20s that are like the size of a baseball.
Back to it. I'm nervous that it's going to follow the same thing. We got this grand story. Yes, it looks like a good story, but what's the catch?
Well,
it's EA.
Yeah, I was watching some videos. EA is doing their show right now, pretty much as we're here.
We have more viewers right now.
I would hope so. Yep. And they were showing off in the video, and I mentioned that it actually kind of reminded me of the old Jedi Knight games.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to return. I think a lot of people, and I think Lucasfilm and Disney are starting to open up now. You're seeing a lot of these private mods that are bringing back old-style video games, and that is the public crying out for, give us a good classic Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And the Jedi Knight series was part of those classics.
And there's certainly, quite honestly, at this point, the Star Wars franchise is a franchise being propped up by its own nostalgia. But I think as long as they start leaning into that, I know there was rumors not that long ago about a Knights of the Old Republic either TV show or movie.
And just to confirm, the fabulous writers of Game of Thrones and fabulous director of The Last Jedi are working on
The Last Jedi.
Well, that's good. Someone has to.
Somebody has to.
Somebody, but they are confirmed that they are writing on a Knights of the Old Republic style prequel.
We're also
pre.
Right, that's prequel.
Yes.
But then we're also getting The Mandalorian, which is going to be all about
Which is probably going to be.
Fett.
I'm taking a guess now. That's going to be Game of Thrones level popularity because what they're doing with that, I saw the footage they showed. It looks amazing. If you liked Firefly, if you liked your old westerns and your A New Hope, this show is going to be for you. I'm telling you.
I guess that is the endearing thing about Star Wars at this point, is that they're starting, if nothing else, the one. I'm telling you, man, we can't be getting distracted. We almost made it, or didn't make it to the show last year.
But look at all the
we
stuff.
have to be. Look, I know there's a lot of cool stuff, and we'll check it out.
Okay, but just check out that stuff right over there, okay?
He left me again. Show now.
I was here the whole time, man. Where were you?
Well,
you missed all the pizza. It's all gone.
Do you have your costume ready? Are you
Man,
good to
you
go?
really need to focus on our timing. I was here ready to go. I don't know where you are.
I'm
Plus,
going to
I saw
get
Megan
changed.
Bliss.
You better be on set.
Yeah, I guess I'll get in my makeup too. Okay, we're here now with Gamora, and she's a part of the Superhero Alliance. They came all the way here from Buffalo. How are you doing today?
Great. This is a fun time at the Niagara Falls Comic Convention. We're all here to hopefully meet Michael Rooker.
That's who you're here for?
And Sean Gunn.
Okay. Well, you have Groot here in the back. You guys have all excellent costumes. You guys,
Thank you.
They look excellent, and you guys are drawing huge crowds today at Niagara Falls Comic Con.
It's a lot of fun. Everyone's receiving us very well, and we do this all the time out of Buffalo, New York, and Western New York to raise money for charities out of Western New York. So we mainly raise money for children in need and people with special needs. We do all sorts of events all year round. So if you want to look up the Superhero Alliance on Facebook mostly, and we have an Instagram and all those social medias, give us a like and follow us.
So you got Rocket right there being little rascal he is. So just going back to the costumes, I see they're very intricate here. For everyone here, I guess we'll start with you. What's it like preparing, and how long does that take?
Oh, it takes me 3 hours, sometimes more, depending on how everything behaves for me. Very intricate makeup, as you can see. I am a makeup artist, so that does help.
Yes.
And it takes about 3 layers to get the skin tone just right. I also use different colors within the skin tone. And
so it's not like it does come off green, right? But there's multiple layers to go about it.
Yes.
So what you're saying, you can fix this on me? You can't cover it up. Oh, okay.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
No.
Can look at it and it reads just as simple as it plays. You're better off. Less charts, less confusion. You know.
Now for me, I don't have too much experience in tabletop, but for me, you have X-Wing here on display, that miniature game, and for me, I thought compared to some of the other tabletop games, it's a little quicker and easier to pick up. If I were to come into your store and try to get started on tabletop, what would you recommend one of the first games I could try out?
X-Wing is a pretty simplistic game too. Like it's all about the dials. There's a starter set there you can get going for that one. Not too hard to do. Also, Star Wars Destiny. Now this one's like got its own addiction level of 10 there, for sure. But these are basically
one event a year. So every weekend, if you're willing to drive far enough, there's a medieval event happening.
Do you know how many chapters you have? And you said you're spread out across Ontario,
yeah,
correct?
There's about 22 chapters in Ontario.
So you don't really have to travel that far if you want to link up.
That's right. That's right. There are chapters in Niagara, Toronto, London, Windsor, Sarnia. The GTA has 4 groups. Ottawa.
So you have the equipment. You have the battle tested armor. So is there music involved? Do you have any live music in that?
Yeah.
Kind of
No. We have live musicians. We have people who've made their own medieval instruments.
And they've created it for that time of music.
That's right.
That's pretty. Yeah. That's pretty.
We also have
interesting.
a medieval choir that's that takes place.
So to really get you in there, okay. So, so this seems a little bit more authentic than, say, for the average person going to see medieval times kind of thing.
Right. Medieval times, they'll give you like a leg of lamb, and they don't give you a fork. Forks and knives are medieval. They really are. Where we will have like a 2 or 3 remove dinner that might take an hour and a half, and we're trying actual medieval food.
But you still are giving everyone that experience of being there, having the food and everything.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, I can't believe this is our 5th year of covering Comic Con.
Has it been 5 years already?
It's been 5 years, man. I always love coming to these things. We get to see so much cool stuff, meet so many cool people.
It's like we should get a life or something.
Well, maybe, but I'm looking forward to talking to some of the celebrities, some of the vendors. Yeah. It's wait a minute, this doesn't feel right.
We're in a parking lot.
This is a parking lot. Once again, you have brought me to a parking lot.
And it was a mistake this time.
Listen, I'll change this. I can fix this. All right, you ready?
Okay.
See, Kekenj, this is Comic Con. Yeah. This is Comic Con. That's Comic Con. That's Comic Con. That's definitely Comic Con.
When were you able to do this?
Don't ever question me.
How long were you gonna wait?
This is Comic Con. What you had was a 2016 accent in a parking lot. Now let's get ready for the show, okay?
Yeah.
Because right now we're at 2019 Comic Con.
Did we always know he could do that? And I am on a floor in a convention hall, not 1,000 feet up in the air. Hey, Steam VR. No. No. No, my gosh. That was, here you go.
No problem. I'll grab the headset
off. Yeah, go ahead. That's sneaky. That is, I'm too sweaty for this. That's how real it is. Gotta check it out, for sure. Wow. Spiders and